Hi, my name is Trenton Oshiro, and we are going to be talking about church planting and business planting at the same time as the vision in 2025. And Matthew 28:19 says, "Go and make disciples of all nations." And we want to fulfill the Great Commission by doing so. And the most effective way to evangelize is still through church planting. And this mission that we're doing, the method that we are trying to promote and try to think through is planting a business and a church at the same time, because missions must be contextualized. And we believe that the best way to do that in some circumstances is to plant a business and a church at the same time. And so the thought here is that we're going to reach the community through Jesus by planting both a business and a church at the same time. And so the business will provide jobs, services for the community, and economic boost for the local community, but also provide financial support for the church ministries as well. And what we are looking to do is have an entrepreneur church planter to plant both a business, plant a church inside of a business to create a unique dynamic between a church world and the business world. The structure of this is going to be one, organizational, delegation, and relationship. And the organizational structure is the blueprint in which we want to have the structure so that we are a church, but we're still a business. So it can complicate things, but with the organizational structure, it's a blueprint on telling what roles the people are doing in that organization. We want to delegate within that structure, which means we're going to assign tasks and work and roles within the structure, organizational structure, to make sure that everything that needs to get done gets done. And relationally, as leaders of the church, we want to develop people and make sure that they understand that teamwork matters and relationships between each other matters. So for the organizational structure, we are proposing to have a Presbyterian structure in our beliefs, policies, and finances, where this church plant business, is accountable to our main campus in Hawaii. So all the beliefs are going to be the same as the mother church in Hawaii. All the policies are going to be the same as the one in Hawaii, and all the finances will be accountable to the main church in Hawaii. Now, within the church, the structure is going to be a line of participant model, and in this, we'll have one lead pastor that will have delegated authority from our main mother church campus in Hawaii, but we'll also make sure that he is able to, or she is able to, make clear roles and push down the decision making to his leaders underneath him, both paid and non paid staff. With delegation, we're going to have kind of two major lanes, the church side and the business side. The church side, the lead pastor is responsible for both the church and business, raising and leading the team, leaders, and general discipleship of the church. The family pastor on the church side will be responsible, most likely a part time position, for the children and youth and the discipleship of the family. Also, the assimilation of new guests into the church as well. On the business side, the key role there is going to be the church business administrator. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But overall, responsible for the business side of the church, to profit and loss statements, accounting, employees, and the business space and decor. And the business side will also have employees on the church planting team as well. That will be an implementation of the business work in the business side. They do not even have to be members of the church to work as an employee, but that falls under the business side of the delegation of roles. Now, another part of the structure is relationship, and it's understanding that the mission cannot be accomplished alone, that everything must be together as a team. Shared leadership is essential for this to work. And because of the complexity of the church and the business, there must be trust, there must be clarity, and there must be strong relationships and shared leadership within the church structure. And the church is not designed to be function as a one-man show, but to be designed to function as a team. And so with that, the relationship between team members are vital and important for everything to be flowing correctly. Now, going to the financial end of the church and the organization, the key role is the church business administrator. And this role is going to be providing supervision and staff support to the staff personnel. So, all things on the business end and on the church end. So, it's a link between the church and the business side of this church plant that we want to make sure that this church business administrator is supervising the support personnel of the business, so the employees, the team leaders on the business side, as well as any other admin and support staff that may be a part of the church side. And this church business administrator is so key. So the qualifications, the CBA must have adequate education or equivalent training to manage the business and fiscal affairs, among other responsibilities. So very key, because without the church business administrator running the business and keeping the business and church accountable, the church won't be able to function and be sustainable. And to keep the finances accountable, we're going to have a yearly audit that ensures the security of the fiscal operations to conform to its policy. So we want to make sure that the finances are being handled in a way that is godly and with high integrity. So we're going to have a third-party audit to make sure that everything is running smoothly there with the finances. The meeting location will be a co-op space. So Sunday and Wednesday will be used for services specifically and direct for ministry, and the other days will be used for the business that we're looking to start at the same time. We are going to rent, not own, just yet. In the beginning, ideally we would want to own, but the idea is to be planted in the community by renting a space in a venue, but not have the high overhead and the high risk of owning a building from the get-go. And the actual location of the place, we're still looking, but it's a high trafficked area. Free parking and visible in the community, those are the kind of the three things that we're looking for to open our business and church at the same time. Risk management. This is something that we are taking very seriously, and so with the financial risk management, we want to make sure that our church business administrator is on top of the accounting, making sure that the business model is a success, so therefore the church model can be sustainable from day one prayerfully. That's kind of our thought. And on all ends, all team members are going to be having a background check. And this is vitally important because there has been a case in the United States that a charitable organization was held liable because of sexual misconduct of one of the team members and a student. And that charity did not perform a background check, and so we want to make sure the safety of our children and minors and church are having that background check in order to have the safety and negate any liability as much as possible onto our church and business for that. And with that, at the end of the day, the church and business, the mission is key, and discipleship is the mission, and we want to make sure that is on the forefront of this church and this business, and that discipleship is a lifelong transformation, and we want to ensure that we are here for the long haul. And so the thought is that as long as the business is successful, then the church is financially sustainable and therefore can continue and have a presence in the community, even if tithes aren't coming in from the first day, because that takes time to build trust with the church members and the new people coming in. And with that, the business also supports the community economically, socially, and spiritually with services, with jobs, which having a new coffee shop or a new gym in the area. So whatever the business model is, we want to make sure that it supports the community in a positive way. Thank you so much for listening to the church vision, church model of planting a business and a church at the same time. This is our thought, and we just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's listening today.